You cache an ORM object to save a database hit. It looks safe. It is quietly a landmine, and here's exactly why that decision comes back to bite you. Picture a typical endpoint. You fetch a user row through your ORM, get back a model instance, and to avoid hitting the database again, you drop that instance straight into your cache. In development, everything works. The object comes back on the next request, its attributes read fine, and the whole thing feels like a clean win. But that model instance is not just data, it's alive. It's still attached to the session that created it, it still holds a live reference to the database connection, and it still expects to lazy load related fields on demand. None of that survives a trip through a cache, whether that cache is in process, readies, or memcached. The object you get back later is not the object you put in, and that gap is exactly where the bugs start. Here's the mechanism underneath it. Every ORM object, SQL Alchemy model, a Django model instance, and active record row is bound to a session or a connection at the moment it's created. That session is what makes the object feel magical. Read an attribute, and if it isn't loaded yet, the ORM quietly runs a query behind the scenes to fetch it for you. That magic depends entirely on the session staying alive and attached. A cache doesn't know anything about sessions. It stores bytes, or it stores a reference in memory, well past the point where the original session that created the object has already been closed and returned to the pool. The object is now floating with no way to complete the contract it was built around, and it doesn't know that yet. The most common way this surfaces is a detached instance error. You pull the cached object back out, touch an attribute that wasn't loaded at cache time, and the ORM tries to lazy load it through a session that no longer exists. In SQL Alchemy, this raises directly and loudly. In Django, it can silently requery or throw a similar attribute error, depending on exactly what you touch and when. Either way, the failure doesn't happen on the request that populated the cache, it happens later, on a completely different request, touching a completely different code path, which makes it brutal to trace back to a caching decision made somewhere else in the codebase entirely. Even when it doesn't crash outright, lazy loading quietly defeats the entire point of caching. Say your cached user object has a related profile field you never touched before storing it. Later, some other code path reads that field. If the session happens to still be alive, the ORM happily issues a fresh database query right there, the exact query you cached specifically to avoid. Your cache hit rate looks great on your dashboards while the actual database load barely drops, because the object you cached was never really self-contained to begin with. It was a thin shell wrapped around database access you never actually unwrapped, and the shell doesn't show up in any metric you're watching. There's a second failure mode that has nothing to do with sessions at all: identity. If your cache is in process, a simple dictionary, an LRU cache, you're not storing a copy, you're storing a reference to the exact same object that's live elsewhere in memory. One request mutates a field on that instance, maybe as part of an update flow, and every other request holding the cached version sees that mutation immediately, regardless of cache expiry. You've accidentally built shared mutable state and called it a cache. Two completely unrelated requests are now silently coupled through an object neither of them realizes it's sharing, and neither one will show an error. The fix is a one-line habit: never let a live ORM object cross the cache boundary. Convert it into plain data first, a dictionary, a data class, a small serializer's output that holds only the concrete values you actually need, fully detached from any session, connection, or lazy loading machinery. That plain object is inert. It can't run a query, it can't reach back into a session that's already gone, and if it's a fresh dict or data class instance, mutating one copy can't leak into another. This single unwrap step is what actually makes the data safe to serialize, safe to share across processes, and safe to trust days later, long after the request that produced it is finished. In practice, that looks like this: fetch through the ORM as usual, then immediately map the fields you need into a plain structure, serialize to JSON for readies, or just build a data class for an in-process cache and cache that instead of the model instance. On a cache hit, you read plain data back with no ORM involved at all. If you need the live model again for a write, you refetch it through the ORM fresh. You never try to resurrect a cached instance back into something session-aware, because that's the exact same broken assumption running in reverse, just dressed up as a deserializer. This is also cheap to catch before it ships. In code review, treat any cache set call whose argument is a model instance, not a dict or a data class, as an automatic red flag. A lot of teams enforce it with a type check at the cache boundary itself, so passing a raw ORM object throws immediately in a test environment, instead of surfacing as a detached instance error 3 weeks later in production. It's also worth testing your cache layer with the originating session explicitly closed before the readback, which is the one condition that reliably exposes every version of this bug in a single assertion. So here's the rule of thumb: your cache should hold data, never framework objects. ORM instance is a live wrapper around a database session, not a value. And the moment you store it somewhere that outlives that session, you're one attribute access away from a crash, or worse, a silently stale field that never gets caught in review. Unwrap first, cache second every single time. Pull the fields you need into a plain dict or data class, store that, and rehydrate through the ORM only when you actually need a live, writable object again. It's a small discipline that costs one extra line and saves you a category of bug that only ever shows up in production at the worst possible moment. Thanks for watching.